Welcome back to the Creative Herd. On this episode, I got to chat with Luke Réaume, who actually just dropped his first single today called Sacrifice. You can go listen to it right now on all streaming platforms. And on December 10th, he drops his first EP. Throughout the episode, that's pretty much what we talk about, his process for the EP, for writing, and where he got his start in music. And we dive into a little bit about, just kind of dropping off and working on your craft and going ghost, and then coming back stronger, and kind of the importance of like honing your craft before putting it out. I hope you enjoy it, and let's get right to it.
My name's Luke Réaume. I'm, a rapper, producer, a little bit of a singer. It's something I'm working on, but I still need auto-tune for that, that's for sure. And I think definitely I would mostly identify with a rapper because, I didn't get into rap till I was like really into rap till I was like 13 or 12 or so. And then I got back into it again when I was like in grade 12 or so, And when I got into it in grade 12, that's when I really started going like really hard into hip hop. And like from like 2012 to like 2017, I honestly didn't listen to anything but hip hop, basically. There was definitely like a little bit of some Anderson .Paak in there, some like Broken Social Scene. Like I still have like a few of my favorites and stuff.
Good on.
But I straight up like was just listening to hip hop and rap, and I definitely would say I have a real strong understanding of hip hop and rap. Like I've listened to grime rap, like the UK style shit. I've listened to like boom bap. I listened to trap. Like I listen to everything,
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, hit me with like top musical interest then in those past years.
In the past years, okay, so yeah, that's definitely a fun one for me. Because like I think I am a good example of someone who listens to everything and has been through every musical road, like, so like I grew up like second I was born, I was dancing. I was just rolling on the ground nonstop, just dancing. Like my parents put me in dance studios when I was like 2 or 3 years old, like, and like dance studios, dog, were my life until I was like 10 years old. I swear to God, like I was a competitive dancer and everything,
Wow.
Straight do like tap dancing, like I can do it all,
You still dance though?
But I have a little like board that I tap danced on like 2 years ago. I was kind of getting back into it a little bit. But yeah, I would actually definitely say like a year ago, I've started like just dancing in my room a lot more, like just doing little boogie stuff, just cause I'm just seeing like on TikTok, how big that platform is.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can dance better than like 90% of these people. So dude, and TikTok as well too is totally like the next big thing. Like Braven's just getting on it now. And he's telling me he's posting a TikTok and 2 days later, it's got 400 views. Like, saying he has no followers on TikTok.
That's nuts.
Like it's honestly, it's just very young and totally is really good if you're trying to promote your music on there, I think.
So you think that's like the next big thing, eh?
Yeah, I definitely, social media right now, I think we're really starting to see its first kind of decline of it. People are, Instagram has cut our organic reach down, and the initial hype that our generation had with social media is starting to go down. I think people are caring about it less, and the younger generation is getting more interested in other social medias, like Snapchat and, these other things. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think, the social media game is changing up big time right now. And yeah, TikTok is going to be a major player in that. Because the one thing that I realized that TikTok honestly just did way better than Snapchat and everyone else is their filters. They just have crazy good filters, dude.
True. That is true.
And little backgrounds and like green screen stuff. And like all the stuff you can do like that. And that's the stuff that the teenagers saw and just got hooked on for sure.
It's like instant good edits almost.
Exactly. It's honestly pretty crazy what you can just do on there.
It's weird too, because like now I feel like our generation is like, when Facebook kind of like took it by storm, and then all of a sudden it was just like only your parents and like grandparents are using Facebook all of a sudden.
When Instagram came out.
I feel like we're there now, and we are like the old generation with like just using Instagram.
Totally. I still think Instagram is still the top platform. Like the younger generation is still using it, But yeah, we're definitely seeing, totally a very similar thing that would happen with Facebook. How Facebook was kind of that first premature death of social media, but it was just the first ever social media platform, right? So
that's true. So you're gonna hop on there and promote some fucking
Oh yeah,
music.
yeah. Honestly, next week I'm gonna start making TikToks. Like I've just been honestly just digesting it tons right now and just making sure I understand what I want to do and how to make good TikToks. And yeah, I'll be on TikTok very soon. And check out Braven's TikToks while you're at it too. BRVN.
So you grew up like dancing and obviously in turn listening to music and shit like that. So
Yeah.
obviously that influenced you. How did you get into hip hop when you were so young? I guess dancing had some influence on that too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so I in dance studios, I only did tap, jazz, and ballet up until I was in up until I was 10 years old. And then when I was 11, that's when I started hip hop dancing. Like I got put in the hip hop class in the dance studio, right? And that was definitely my first like time I really started hearing Eminem and like 50 Cent. Like I had heard them on the radio before, but my parents definitely told me, "Oh, don't listen to that rap music, you know, just keep listening to your like Grease soundtrack and your NSYNC like straight." And so I got exposed to some guys like that, and Joe Budden, Pump It Up, that was a huge one for me, yo. But then when I was in grade 7, my older brother got LimeWire and he started just downloading all his music onto the family computer.
Man.
And then I started just listening to all of his music. And so I'm like 12 years old, dude. I've literally gone from NSYNC and Michael Jackson to now I'm listening to like Diplomats, Wu-Tang, Jedi Mind Tricks, like
Shout out
Purple
LimeWire.
City Bird. Shout out LimeWire, yo, the biggest legend in the game. And honestly, like it was crazy for like my understanding. I became obsessed with it immediately, you know?
Just like listening and finding new music.
Yeah, because you know, like my whole life as well too. Like I was always a dancer, but I also was very big into writing. I used to write short stories when I was a kid, and I used to write tons of song lyrics, you know. And I was always very interested in the lyrical side of music for sure. Like when I listen to songs, like when I'm dancing, I'd always be lip syncing. So I guess that was it. When I started hearing rap and just hearing all the crazy flows, the complex words, you know, and like ridiculous rhymes and stuff, it just blew my mind as a kid, you know.
So you were listening to stuff that actually had like context rather than today. It's just like they literally pick like 10 words and like that's the entire song.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, back then I don't know if hip hop was that much better in the mainstream. But yeah, because I wasn't listening to mainstream hip hop back then. I was definitely listening to like real underground guys, you know, like Jedi, like Atmosphere and like just. You know what I'm saying?
He it's not like he's just like going in a loop. Like he's telling us, like specifically Atmosphere, like he's telling a story, he's going through things, and it's all like a crazy flow.
Yeah. And that definitely just, you know, fascinated me as a kid, and I just became set. And that's when I first started rapping as well too, when I was about 12, 13, when I discovered that stuff.
What are you listening to nowadays?
Nowadays? Oh God, man, I'm listening to everything nowadays, yo, like straight. Like so yeah, like after I became a rapper, like yo, I got into like death metal and stuff as a kid. So like I'll still listen to death metal, bro. Like Job for a Cowboy, what's good? Like, bro. So bro, I'm telling you, find someone else who listens to Michael Jackson, Job for a Cowboy, Kill a Sin, and like yo, like
that's actually nuts.
Craziest stuff. But yeah, now I listen to definitely a lot of Quentin Miller. He's a rapper I'm pretty fond of. I listen to a lot of Cool G Rap, a lot of like, you know, a lot of like just legendary guys like Cool G Rap, Black Thought. Recently, the past 6 months, I've started getting really obsessed with like 70s and 80s like jazz music and like some like Italian and Russian composers and stuff.
That's dope.
Yeah, like I just found this YouTube channel called Ricardo Maragna. And he just posts like samples, and I follow some few other channels that post like just like samples of like old music. But this one dude, Ricardo Maragna, yo, I'm telling you, everything he posts is a straight 10 out of 10 song. Like it's and like just the most random guys like Piero Ulamani, Stelvio Cipriani. Like you ain't never heard of none of these guys, yo.
I literally don't even. Yeah, I have no idea.
Tell you, bro, I'll show it to you after, and you're gonna be like, "What the heck is this music, dog?" Like the changes, like every single song, bro, is like full like strings, trumpet, brass, like all the instrumentation and all of them, and it's like, yeah, I've been looking for music like this, yo.
That's actually really cool, and obviously, it sounds like you've had like a pretty big appreciation for music and writing since you were like super young.
Yeah.
When did you start to realize, be like, oh fuck, like maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try to like make a song or like write a song.
Good question. You know, I mean, like I said, my first song, I probably wrote that when I was like 7 or 8 years old. I remember when I was like at recess, bro, I would literally get like a few of my friends and I'd be like, all right, dude, you're gonna do the drums and like just get them to go like dun dun ta dun 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 ta dun dun ta. And then bro, I get my next friend and I go, okay, dude, you're the guitar, go down now. And then like I would be singing, bro, like I was making a band my entire life, yo.
That's hilarious.
But then when I was like, let's see, I guess like, and then, I wrote, like, music's always been very important to me. I've always been rapping and trying to imitate it. But when it first started getting serious, I guess, was maybe when I was like in grade 11, I definitely started like writing songs all the time then. That's when it first became like every day, every like other day I'm writing a song all the time.
True.
And then probably in like 2012, I got really into poetry. And then trying to sell it, and I wanted to sell a poetry book, but then I was looking at selling poetry books and that was just not going to work out. So you're like, straight, no one buys poetry books. So I started rapping, and that's what kind of brought me back into rap. And that's when I guess I'd say rapping started becoming really serious because I just got out of high school,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing now, right?
Mm-hmm. I feel like if you get into writing, especially like writing poetry, you're gonna at some point loop back into like bringing it back into the hip hop world.
Especially too, because like my style of poetry, I always liked rhyming poetry and poetry with meter. Like I was really into like Edgar Allan Poe and like Shakespeare because I liked that they used meter. And like new poetry is just all about the ideas, and they don't care about the spoken word version of poetry. And even like spoken word poetry, when I hear it, I'm like, dog, your spoken wordness is just you acting out and getting angry. Like the spoken, like the way you wrote this doesn't sound cool. Like there's no flow, there's no nothing. It's just you going, and me and my guys, and I'm like, bro, I don't care.
So are you a big person for like shit's gotta have some good flow then?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, more important than flow though, I am all about content for sure. And then I guess that's what frustrates me about poetry is that I feel so many poets have no content and no flow. It's like, what am I here for, dog?
That's actually
like
true.
It's just why like so much poetry is just complain about my problem, and people have genuine problems. It's not trying to put down people's problems at all, but then that's it. It's just I grew up poor and I'm poor now and I hate it. It's like, great, well, can you help me with my boredom, because I'm poor and I will need some help with that, and just hearing you're poor isn't really helping me. Watching you complain and be angry about it.
True. So you want more to the story. That's your
yeah.
I get that.
Definitely. I'm all about the moral of the story. I'm all about that for sure. What did the story teach me?
True.
What was the point of this story?
Right on. I feel that.
One artist I listen to a lot now is Gil Scott-Heron, who someone who was doing a lot of music in the 70s and 80s, I believe. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to his music, I mean, it's all substance. He has this one song called We Almost Lost Detroit, and it's about in the 1970s, there was a major power failure at a Detroit a power plant, or one that was just outside of Detroit. And it literally was like this close from blowing up, and you would have lost all of Detroit, And it's kind of him talking about how the energy we're using is not fully safe. We haven't, foolproofed it yet. And what are we doing,
Damn.
That's what I'm here for, yo. I'm here for some real hard-hitting points, dog. Not just you complaining about you're sad and like.
I feel like this is real. This shit happened.
Exactly.
Have you seen Chernobyl? That show Chernobyl?
No. Sounds I know Chernobyl, so it sounds interesting.
Man, they I fucking forget who put it out. But that story reminded me of it, and it's actually really crazy.
Totally, it's same instance, yo, and like almost the exact same thing basically happened to Detroit,
Yeah, that would be too nuts. But
and that's kind of the big point is that you look at Chernobyl. Like, I mean, Chernobyl, I'm pretty sure was like a city of like maybe 50,000, 60,000 people. I could be wrong. Like
Detroit
right next to Detroit.
So
exactly right. Like, yeah. So yeah, Gil Scott-Heron, I fuck with him. He's sick.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up for sure. When did you start writing your first? I guess getting digital, or however you started first back in like 2012. If you're writing a bunch, like when did the other side of music come in, like producing?
So I guess I started playing. I started, I got a drum set when I was in grade 6, and then when I was in grade 9, I got a guitar, and then I started writing songs on my guitar after that.
Oh, okay. So you were already like playing instruments.
Yeah, definitely. And I got, all right, a guitar. I can like finger pick and like play some like kind of interesting chords. Not anything special though, that's for sure. But yeah, so then around 2012 was when I started forgoing poetry and going into rapping. And I remember at Christmas, I got a bunch of like Long and McQuaid gift certificates, and then I bought a microphone, a little thing I could record, and I started like recording my raps. I think I'd honestly like started writing raps maybe just 2-3 months before then. At the time, so I probably wrote like maybe 20-30 raps, recorded like 4 or 5 of them, and I was getting pretty mixed responses with a lot of people. So yeah, I guess you could say, I started, putting it digital and recording right away, but I got a lot of mixed responses, and a lot of it for sure wasn't just my skill level, but was the recording. I wasn't very good at recording. So I also as well too knew though that I wanted to be a really good rapper. I didn't want to just rap. I was like, I want to be like legendary at this shit. I want to be like a Cool G Rap. I want to be like a Black Thought, Yeah. So that's honestly when I was like, I'm going like crazy ghost, and I'm just gonna write all the time, And there's definitely, so that was 2012, and then I didn't record anything until 2015. A solid 3 years. Like, dude, I literally in those 3 years probably wrote like 400 songs.
Wow,
like
that's actually insane.
Dude, I'm telling you, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm someone who my friends ask me to hang out, and I'm always like, nope, I'm busy, sorry. And they're like, why? I'm like, I'm in my room writing a song right now. And like people get cheesed. They're like, what the fuck? Luke's just being so lame, But it's like, it's what you got to do. It's what I know I want, and it's what you got to do, right?
Yeah, you really gotta focus, or you're never gonna get there.
Exactly. So yeah, and then back in 2015, I started recording again, and I put a few songs out. But then I discovered grime music in 2016, and that's kind of when I then started going to a studio and getting really serious about music, I'd say.
When you, back in 2015, and what like flicked that switch that you're like, all right, I'm going into a studio?
Yes, sorry. What it was I discovered a new genre of rap called grime music, which is, you ever listen to like Skepta at all?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, like Skepta, he does grime pretty much. I mean, his newer stuff is maybe like washed down grime a little bit, some people say, but yeah, like that style of rap and stuff. And Skepta was the first person I discovered. And yeah, I heard the song Man by Skepta, and I literally listened to nothing but that song for 3 days straight. Dude, I was obsessed with that song because like when I heard it, how I would describe that song, it's like the drums are like trap music, that's what I thought. I was like, hey, it's got like some cool like 808s kind of like trap music, but then the melodies like dark and like I described it's like, bro, it's almost like some basic jazz loop, like Fall in Love by Slum Village or something, but then like metal or something, like I don't know, it's like mad dissonant and like distorted melodies and stuff. And the bars were just super hard, packed with flow and packed with aggression and anger. And a lot of grime music as well too. The anger in it is kind of anti-establishment. I mean, it's a UK form, right? So it's got that that punkness that UK always has. Fuck the Queen and shit. Mm-hmm. So that's very into grime, and I'm totally very much anti-establishment.
So you identified with that?
Oh, definitely. Like I heard grime, man, and it just set my soul on fire. And that's when everything changed. I like became obsessed with it, wrote like 6 grime songs immediately. It was like, dog, I got to get these recorded. I got to go to find a studio. And then like Braven told me about some dude, and I went, hit him up, and like that's pretty much been it ever since then. 2016, I've just been going crazy with music, I'd say.
And that's what you've been recording basically?
Actually, I've left grime, I'd say. Definitely the past 4 years, like since 2016, has been the most versatile in my songwriting, because this is when I've been doing the most recording. And the thing I immediately started realizing when I started doing recordings was that I'm a fantastic songwriter. I'm not a fantastic recording artist yet, because I haven't been being a recording artist. I haven't been working on my voice, making sure I get the emotion at the right spots,
Okay. So there's like a whole nother level and world in that shit.
Totally. So I definitely started experimenting with a lot of different styles. And the other thing too, why I guess I stopped doing grime music was grime back in 2016 and 2017 was having a kind of a big pop over here. Was the first time really anyone over here had heard of it. And It's kind of died off now, and I started seeing it dying off, and I just felt, I think it's going to come back in the future, and I wanted to wait for that is what I decided, kind of.
Good on. That's trippy. So those never really saw, like, where do those tracks go?
I probably recorded maybe about 10 grime songs. Actually, no, I definitely recorded more. Fuck shit. I have definitely like 15 or 20 grime songs. I wrote, though, like 100 grime songs, and the last 50 grime songs I wrote, I didn't record. So yeah, there's a lot of good grime stuff that's gonna come out later, yo.
Just put it away. Put that in the vault.
Oh, dude, trust me. Like, I'm gonna post a story or like a post on IG later showing everyone like all, because everything I write on paper. I don't like writing on my phone or on the computer. So you can physically see how much I wrote. And bro, it's all your university notes, I'm telling you. Like, all your university notes equates to everything I just wrote, dog.
That's jokes. So you only straight up just paper?
Yeah, just paper. When I was really young, I used to use my a computer, because you can type faster for sure. Pencil, it takes slower to get the idea out. But what I like about pen and paper is I can just scratch something out easily, and I can write on the side margins just very easily.
Mm-hmm. And you can think too as you're writing.
Exactly. I mean, you can still write your ideas down at the end of the page, but then it's just kind of annoying when you're going up and down, and then you have to copy and paste it and stuff, It's like, it's really easy for me when it's like, hey, I'll just scratch this out. And then if later I decide I want it, I don't care to rewrite it again. I just like, you just read through the thing I scratched out,
What's your like creative process through that? Like, how do you actually like come up with a song or like come up with some form of writing?
So I definitely for the long time always started with the beat, because it just makes more sense that way, right? Everyone says that you start with the foundation. Beats are the foundation of the song.
Okay, and are you making those beats?
Yeah, definitely. So like in 2012, when I got that program to start recording myself and my voice, I also had like some loops on there, and I started making loops stuff and whatnot, and playing on the piano a little bit, making drums. But then around at the same time, 2012, 2013, the YouTube producer like scene just started blowing up, and tons of people were posting their beats on YouTube, and that's when I stopped actually producing, because like there was just so many high quality beats that were free for nonprofit use on YouTube. It was like, why am I going to spend time like an hour making this beat when I can go get like 100 beats in an hour?
True.
So
true. Valid
straight and totally. I mean, the YouTube producers, bro, there's some insane guys on YouTube, right? Like, that's where Cash Money AP got his start, and like now look at where he's at.
Look at that one song, the Old Town Road or whatever.
Exactly. Well, that's not Cash Money. That's a producer that after that song blew, Cash Money signed Young Keo.
That's crazy, and it's just like he just put that out for like whatever.
And that's the same thing, right? Like, he was just on a BeatStars, which was a platform I was selling my beats on as well too for a little bit. However, back to like the producing thing. Now, I am mostly producing everything in my songwriting process. I've forgone the YouTube thing, because what actually happened was I was writing a song called Sacrifice. And I was writing it to some YouTube beat, and then after a week, the dude deleted the song. And to put it in perspective, why I was so angry, I only wrote 16 lines, and I spent like 3 hours every single day writing.
Whoa.
For a whole week, and I only wrote 16 lines. I never worked so hard on 16 bars in my life, dog.
Wait, you didn't just download or are you just streaming it?
No, I was just streaming it on YouTube. Because I had a save folder. I didn't bother, going to YouTube convert it or anything.
Yeah, and then this guy just took it down.
And then he sold it, right? So he said, yeah, I'm taking exactly. It got sold. And that was when I started producing beats again, because I went, dude, I worked way too hard on this. I was like, I can't keep having this. And as well, too, the music, I mean, from 2012 to 2017, music's changed big time. You can make really, 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 really simple beats now, and they become top charts, right? Mm-hmm. Which, like, back in, like, when Drake blew, that wasn't a thing at all,
No.
So that started making me think, I was like, bro, I can just start cooking up my own beats. And that's what kind of led me back onto this beat making journey, was that song Sacrifice that I was writing. That the guy took it down, and then I went, bam, gotta make my own shit.
And you've already been making beats. You already knew how to, and you just said you were already selling them.
I wasn't selling beats at the time yet. No, I had just made beats for myself, and I knew how to make beats, but I definitely wouldn't say like I was a very good beat maker at all. I was definitely very amateur.
So that's when you dove into it and we're like, all right, I need to figure this shit out.
Yeah, like I was always decent at sampling, I'd say, but I wasn't very good at piano. My piano wasn't very good. I was good at guitar. So I had to definitely get better at my piano and even just my songwriting in general, like working with a flute on a piano, like has just improved big time in the past like 3 years, 2 years.
Right on. And that was, sorry, you started, because I know Sacrifice is part of your current EP. How long has that been in motion?
The works? So yeah, like the original song Sacrifice that I wrote, the lyrics to that I wrote in 2016, like June 2016 or something like that. And then the recorded version that is coming out on December 3rd, I recorded that in 2017. So it's a pretty old song for sure.
Damn, you just been hiding away.
Yeah, man, straight, yo.
So when did you got yourself up to par and like producing, and then started putting your shit out online for people to buy, and then you got over it, that as well? You're like, I'm gonna keep this stuff for myself.
Yeah. So I was producing a lot, because I mean I didn't even really start like selling my beats, like planning on doing that. I was just making beats for myself originally, right? Like that's the purpose of me producing. Mm-hmm. But then when I started going on YouTube tutorials, like watching tutorials on how to make beats, how to do this on your program, yada yada, I started seeing and being involved in the online producer scene and really seeing at how booming, how new it is, and how capable selling your beats online really is nowadays. Mm-hmm. I watched this YouTube channel go from 0 to 2,000 followers, and I've seen other YouTube channels go from 2,000 followers to 200,000 followers in 6 months, like both these guys,
Damn.
So I'm just like, it's super possible.
What a time, man. What a time.
Seriously, right? Like we live in like an unprecedented era, I mean, there's tons of, there's tons of things that we're being oppressed with, yada, 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 but we still live in a time where we have so much opportunity, if you live in America, in the Americas or whatever, Canada. But yeah, so I was producing, and I was just seeing it how crazy the money was, honestly. I was just seeing guys making money, and I was like, damn, I want to make money as well too, And so yeah, I started selling my beats, and it was decent. I went pretty decent for like 4 months, and I sold about 5 beats. 3 of those licenses that I sold were with a collab. And the guy that I collabed with, he's actually the guy that I saw him go from 0 to 2,000 followers. And literally it happened to him in like 1 month. He just posted a 6ix9ine video, and it got 600,000 plays in 1 month. And like, that was it. Right. That's nice. And he said, and he was telling me as well too. He's like, yeah, bro, like this video blew, and now I just made like $350 this month. Next month he made like $500. Like,
just like, it sounds so simple, but it's not.
Here's the thing too. I'll put in perspective. So he had been posting consistently for like a solid like year. Like every single week he's posting like 2-3 beats a week, right? Mm-hmm. And advertising is another thing to get on. Like. And another thing as well too, which beat producers maybe don't realize, you gotta have good beats.
Well, yeah.
It's something, but I don't know. In the creative thing, I see a lot of creatives, honestly, like 50-60% of creatives in tons of fields that are like, man, why is no one asking me for my pictures? Why is no one, hitting me up, to do this? Why is no one? It's like, dog, because have you seen your work? It's not the craziest shit.
Yeah, consistency. Consistency can only get you so far.
Exactly.
But like, realistically, it's also there to help you like learn and grow. So like, yeah, be consistent. But like, to your point, you can be consistent like behind closed doors. Like, you can just go away, be consistent, and come back and be like, boom, here's like who I am now. Like, I fucking learned my shit, and I've been focusing. And if you whatever you like focus your attention to it will grow no matter what.
Yeah, 100%, yo, 100%. And I mean, like, you don't necessarily need to go ghost as well too, like I did. I mean, I had kind of my own reasons for going ghost. Definitely dealing with like just depression is one thing. Because everyone gets down. Life's hard. Mm-hmm. Like I definitely say like in 2012 is that's when I started rapping. And I was, right, like they're definitely like when I'm on, I'm like writing, 3-4 songs a week, right? But then there's definitely like solid like 3 months, I wrote one song, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing that I'd say in 2016, like I stopped that. Now it's like I'm always consistent with my work, you know?
Yeah, it's just like flexing that muscle. Obviously, every single one's not going to be good. You're aware of that, but it's just like you gotta keep drawing essentially to get better at drawing. Like it's such a simple like thing when you break it down. Like you just got to put in your 10,000 hours.
Mm-hmm. And you know, like and ghosting as well too is just an interesting topic, I think, because you know it's something a lot of people do. Something I also did because I thought it was a good marketing strategy personally. You know, like it's just good to go ghost, no one sees anything, and then bam, you're doing tons of stuff. You know, but you know, some people can't go ghost because honestly, in our society, we post on social media because we need the attention. You know, we need the satisfaction of other people telling us we're doing good. You know.
It is really, really weird that it's just like, oh, like how many likes did I get now? Oh, what about now?
Right?
What about now?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you know, it's totally something that I think you need to get past that. I think I'm past that personally. But I understand if people aren't like that, you know, because like life's hard. You know, self-esteem isn't something that you're just born with. And yeah, so, you know, it's like, definitely don't be like, oh, like, you know, people will be like, oh, crap, you got to go ghost now if my shit's not perfect or ready yet. It's like, no, you can still post your stuff, you know? You can do anything you want as long as you keep doing is the most important thing I'd say, you know? Whether you're showing everyone you're doing stuff or you're not showing everyone you're doing stuff, that's the thing I learned over the years, just make sure you're always doing stuff, you know?
Yeah, I guess that
there's days now, you know, like I'm saying I'm always working now, but there's days where I don't write a song. There's days where I don't record a song. Maybe I'm just, you know, practicing guitar because that's what I feel like doing today, you know?
But it's still benefiting you in some way.
Exactly, you know? So, and that's the thing I think is important to make sure you kind of diversify your skill set, especially in today's day and age. Or like, you know, even if, you know, you're a guitarist, right? Like make sure you're not just constantly focused on your next releases, you know? Like you got to take time to listen to music as well too. I think that's part of my day, you know?
Oh, definitely. It's weird now because I feel like we're also the first generation that has to deal with like, since we can so easily put things out, like you need to really have like a strong shell of like, okay, like I actually I like this, may not be perfect, but like it's done, whatever, I'm going to grow from this. And like, I don't really give a shit about what other people think.
Totally,
like
exactly.
There's definitely like a certain aspect of that instead of just putting out like I feel like before this like digital age, people would only put out like, oh, here's like a very polished record. Like that's the first thing that people saw of this person, and that like that's just the way it was. They didn't see them like, oh, there's them learning, there's them recording, like all that stuff.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Do you want to dive into this EP a little bit?
Yeah, I'm down. Or you can even start with Sacrifice because they're pretty you know, intertwined, I'd say.
And this is the single that you're releasing, or is this part of the?
No, Sacrifice. I decided not to release it on the EP. It's just a single coming out by itself because I think Sacrifice sounds sonically very different to the rest of the EP. I wrote it back in 2017, and like I was listening to a lot of like Nestle back then, you know, and that's kind of when that mumble rap style was first coming up, I'd say.
Okay.
And that influences a little bit in there, I'd say. And it just sounds very different than the rest of them, so I didn't want to put it on the EP. And I'm also a big fan of not putting songs that people have already heard before on projects. I just think people always see that and then skip it, you know? Unless it's like, you know, a lead single that you drop like just 2 weeks before the thing happens. Like that obviously makes sense. It's just promotion.
Sure.
But like that's like I hate when like you know, an artist, it's like 8 months before their thing drops, they've released like 4 of the songs already off the 12 thing. You know, it's like, why'd you put these 4 songs on there, dog? It's like,
and then you already
and then you gotta go back and you gotta go back and delete them, you know, like the singles. You don't care. Say like, you know. Like that's something I think a lot of people don't think about as very important, you know? It's like just practicality of your music, how easy it is it for people to get it and keep it.
For sure. So it actually has not really, it's basically just more promo, a song that you are like holding near and dear to. And then
I you know, I mean, like the lyrics are pretty important, I'd say, you know, because I mean the song's Sacrifice, right? So it's kind of like I'd say the song's just me talking about all the sacrifices I've made over my year, like just constantly working, you know, sacrificing, you know, relationships, sacrificing, you know, I have money as well too. You know, I could be trying to get like work better jobs and working longer hours, and I don't give a shit about that because I'm trying to do music 24/7.
For sure.
So yeah, so I mean, there's some personal value, but definitely moving is much more important to me. It's much more recently that I wrote that.
Okay, what is the EPs that's coming after that is called Moving?
Yes, the EP is called Moving. It's a 3-song EP. I'll even give you guys the track list. It's Can't Do It Anymore, Consistent, and Moving, the final one.
Right on.
Three cool songs, I think.
When does it drop?
December 10th, I think.
Right on. Is there a theme through the album or through the EP?
Yeah, definitely. There definitely is a theme with this EP. So when I was doing this, like my mindset was kind of that I felt that dropping this EP would be because it's my first project, this is one of the first times that I can really do something really personal, I feel like, you know? Like, not that I think, like, you know, my next, like, even 2 or 3 things are going to blow and get me, like, 100,000 followers or anything. But, you know, like, I am trying to, you know, be a successful artist in the future, right? And I definitely think in the future, being personal is something that's going to be a lot harder. You know, you don't want to reveal too much of your personal life. And I also thought that, you know, a lot of the people that are going to be seeing this EP are going to be people that personally know me, you know, people that would be actually personally invested in finding out things about my life, you know? So I really took this time to make something that I really wanted to listen to, which is different than maybe my usual philosophy where I usually think you need to make music that the listener wants to listen to. But this EP is definitely all about me and just about me telling, you know, stories that I think, or, you know, a story about my life that people maybe didn't know, you know?
Mm-hmm. What does it sound like if you were trying to sum it up? Like these stories that you're saying, like, I'm following along. I get that it's like hip hop and you're rapping, but even further than that.
If I were to like kind of describe like sonically what it sounds like, you know, every song sounds rushed, I think, you know, in a way. Like every song, it kind of sounds like a demo, and that's something I kind of did deliberately. You know, I wanted something that sounds very bare bones. It's I think everything's still hot, still bangs, but it's very bare bones.
So it is more about the stories. Like it's more about, hey, listen to these things.
Definitely, you know, the lyrics are definitely very important in this thing, I'd say.
Where did the name come from?
So the name Moving is kind of just coming from me taking a reflection back on my life and seeing what's the most important thing that honestly shaped my life and kind of who I am right now, you know? Like some people might say, you know, skateboarding is the biggest thing that shaped their life, you know, and that's a very important thing for me for sure. Or, you know, even dancing, right? And yeah, I chose Moving, you know, it's kind of a twist, a double entendre, because the one thing it can mean is I have Tourette's syndrome, which is not something a lot of people know, or like even my close friends don't even realize that I have that.
Crazy.
Which, if some people don't know what Tourette's syndrome is, it's not the Tourette's guy. Whenever the second he's, yeah, right. You're waiting for me to say fuck, shit.
Dude, shout out to that viral video.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
So what Tourette's is, though, is it's literally just means a tic. And a tic is any involuntary movement or action or sound. So like 95% of the people that have Tourette's have it like how I have it, and they just have to like clear their throat all the time. They have to crack their bones all the time. They have to stretch something. They might have to go like say some type of noise like ah. And then you have the 5% of people that have conditions called coprapraxia and coprapralia, which is the swearing version of Tourette's.
Weird. So that is a thing. Like that's fully.
Yeah. It definitely is a thing. It's a very rare condition though, and it's totally like no one has any idea what causes it. There's no cure for it. There's just therapy.
So like legit, your thing is like you have to kind of keep constantly moving. Is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah. Like and you'll notice it now next time you chill with me. Like I'm always cracking my neck. I'm always cracking my ankles, my wrist, my leg. I always have to scratch myself as well too. Like every 3 seconds, I'm moving. I'm constantly moving. You know?
That's crazy.
It is crazy because it's the type of thing that I never really noticed until my entire life. But now getting into my 20s, it's actually starting to affect me a little bit. In that it's not really a major at all, But there's what really affects my Tourette's is stress. When I get more stressed out, I have more tics, you know, very common thing. I remember like 6 months ago or like a year ago, actually, I was starting to get really stressed, I guess. And I was having just tics like all the time. And I was having them so often that like my wrist and my knuckles were in pain because I was cracking my knuckles like literally 200, 400 times a day.
That's insane.
You know, right? Like,
do you know that you're doing it, or is it kind of like you have no idea what's going on?
Both of them, right? Like I would say like 80% of my tics, I don't even notice them happen. Now that we're talking about it, you can't see I'm doing it a bunch now, and I notice, obviously. But yeah, it's definitely and it's kind of crazy because when I started having the pain a little bit, like it was lasting for like 2 months or so, and it happened randomly now. When I get stressed, I started it was the first time in my life I'd ever thought about what life would be like without Tourette's. You know, and not even the pain, but just like whenever I'm lying down in bed, like I'm constantly fidgeting. When I'm like cuddling with a girl, yo, they're always like, Luke, can you fucking stop moving, yo? Like I'm trying to sleep, dog. And I'm just like, sorry, yo, I'm like trying to sleep too, dog. And like, it's the reason why I have trouble sleeping as well, you know?
Oh my gosh.
So that I would say though is kind of the personal double entendre meaning that I honestly don't care if anyone gets that. Like that was just kind of a jokes thing I kind of did for myself, to be honest.
Yeah, that runs so deep.
And I do reference that a little bit in the thing. So you will catch that if you really analyze the lyrics, you will see it. But the main point of moving actually isn't necessarily my Tourette's, because my Tourette's I wouldn't say has shaped my life. Most people don't even know I have it. The reason I went with moving is because my parents separated when I was in grade 5, and even before then, I mean, we were moving houses a little bit. From I guess age 4 to age 10, I lived in the same house. But then from being 10 to 17, I was constantly moving houses and constantly changing schools, you know? And when I got out of high school, I then started looking at my friend groups and all my friends really, and just kind of like seeing that I didn't have a very like strong central like friend group, you know. It wasn't like, oh, I have like these like 10 or 5 friends, you know, and like we all always go out and do that, you know. It's like I have friends, but it's like these 2 dudes here, these 3 dudes here, this one guy there, you know.
Yeah, that'll definitely affect you.
And the reason why, you know, I started realizing my friend group is different is because I've been moving so much, you know.
100%.
You know, and it's definitely a thing I didn't realize until I was honestly like 22, you know, like 20 or so, 22. It's kind of just an interesting thing when I think about, you know, like I don't have a lot of, you know, like really, really close friends. I definitely have, you know, like I got Braven, I got my boy Steven, you know, like I got like day ones, you know, shit. Like I'm good. Don't worry, guys. But definitely like when I look at my Instagram story, who watches my stories, yo, it's like these like 10 people from this one French school. It's these 10 people from this one French school. It's like these 3 people from a dance studio. It's just tons of people that have no idea who any of them are, you know, and like these little pockets.
It's a more diverse web.
Exactly, you know. So I don't know. I'm hoping I can use that to my advantage because it's diverse web.
Definitely.
But then there's also been disadvantages to that too, you know, because I guess maybe say if I were to host a show, I might have trouble making sure I can get tons of people to come, because one thing that really helps people to come to a show is when they know that all of their friends are going to be there, right?
Well, that's on them. Fuck it.
Oh yeah. I'm not blaming anyone, bro. I look at this all as a business strategic wise, right?
True.
Like totally. Like if I were to say, hey, bro, I got a show and it's like 200 people from Pinehurst that you know, you'd be more inclined to go to that show than if I had a show that it was like 200 people from my French schools I know, right?
That's
you know,
true.
it's just natural, right? So yeah, and it was just kind of me looking at my life, looking at, you know, where I am right now, how I got here, and what I'm going to do next. Yeah, moving just kind of I felt was something that it kind of encompassed that idea of, you know, where I'm going and where I'm going next. I'm moving, you know, same as always.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that it has like multiple meanings. I think that's really sick.
Thanks, yo, thanks.
And that is 3 songs.
Yep, 3 songs.
In December 10th, is that what you said?
Yes.
On all streaming platforms?
Every single streaming platform, all of them. Deezer Radio, you know, Apple Music, everything, yo. And actually, like, I'd say, like, this EP Moving, it actually didn't even start off like this. My original concept was going to be locals. Like, that's what I wanted to call it. And I wanted to kind of just make it an EP dedicated to, you know, just like local startups, you know, and just like doing shit local and not worrying about the international mindset, you know? And I kind of scrapped that idea just because I wanted to do it bigger and better. Also because the main song that I was doing called Locals, when I went to record it, I wasn't satisfied with the song. It was one I scrapped. And I think I scrapped probably like 5 or 6 songs before I brought this down to a 3-track EP.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. You know, that's my process for sure. You know, I'm a very picky person with my music. I still don't think like, you know, like my EP Moving, I think it's good for sure, but it's definitely not, you know, something that's going to get played on like radio. You know, I know it's not that.
Yeah. Are you proud of it though?
Yeah, I'm definitely proud of it. I think I did a good work on there, and my engineer, he did some work on the beats and just killed it. Like the first song, I think everyone's gonna like a lot.
Good, man. That's sick. I mean, realistically, in the end, that's all that matters, right? Like, if you can keep producing music for you, I think you'll go further in the long run if you're like keeping yourself happy. Because you'll just continually want to do it rather than being like, oh, fuck, like nobody really listened to that. And like, I didn't get played on the radio, like this and that. I don't think that's really, at least at this point, like, I don't think that needs to be anybody's goal in the industry anymore.
Exactly. And that's honestly a huge reason why I'm putting out music this year, is because that's what I decided really, was that I wanted to make music just entirely, you know, like, I'm still making music for the listener, but I want to make sure that I'm not doing any music where I'm following trends or stuff, you know, or I'm just making this because it's like, oh, this is popping right now or something like that, you know?
Exactly.
Like, you know, or like I'm never writing, like I would never write a lyric like, oh, I just fuck on my bitch or whatever. Like I got this jewelry, you know, like I would never write something that bad. But there definitely were times, you know, where I would still write something without a lot of substance, you know, and like I would just be like, whatever about the substance because, you know, people like the flow and they just want the rhyme. But now I'm like, I'm taking music as critical as I listen to it, you know? Which is crazy that I ever would listen to music and think, oh, well, I think it's bad, but I know other people don't think it's bad. Which is like, yeah, I'm right sometimes, but still, like, don't do that.
It's a trip, yeah.
You know?
Crazy. I mean, good thing that you're picky. I feel like you know what you like. I'm stoked to listen to the EP for sure, because it sounds like you've put a lot of like thought behind it, and it sounds like you put a lot of thought behind like everything you're doing so far.
Thanks. Definitely, it's definitely what I try to do.
Where can people find you online right now?
You could find me like on Instagram or on Twitter at Luke Réaume, or Réaume is spelled REAUME. And yeah, write that on Apple Music or Spotify as well too when my music comes out.
Boom. So you're just using your name, artist name?
Yep, straight. My name is my artist name.
Sick. And December 10th, do you want to leave us maybe with like a favorite bar that you wrote for in any of the songs on Moving? Or is that like so
nah, I got you, yo. All right, so I'll give you 2 because this is my friend's favorite bar. Braven, he loves my bar where I say it's a 2-part bar, so I can't just spit the 1 bar. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
You'll go nowhere like Tim Horton lines, gotta protect my back like a porcupine. That's Braven's favorite bar. My favorite bar that I wrote is just can't see my moves like a poltergeist.
Damn.
Because you know, like a poltergeist, that's a ghost that moves shit that you can't see, right? Like
that's actually nuts.
Yo, you can't see my moves, like you don't know what I'm doing. Like that's what I thought. That's my favorite bars. So if you guys liked it, go check out my music. December 3rd, Sacrifice, and December 10th, Moving EP's coming out.
If that doesn't hype you up, I don't know what
right? Yo, you goofballs. Yo, you're straight silly.
And bitch, I really was high. Said I'm always going out, killing try after try. Goddamn man, think I got it all out. Think I got it and start in a way I can. Now I was thinking to myself, I can't do this anymore. Fucking with these stupid hoes, can't do it anymore. I can't do this anymore, I can't do it anymore. Staying down with these things, can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore, but the team is needing more. I'ma double up the score, I'ma do it up for sure. When I'm looking at the game, they don't do it anymore. How I do it, that's for sure. I'ma do it or something, yeah.
That was a sample from Luke's new EP that drops on December 10th. So if you're just getting into that tune, look out for it when it comes out. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode.